The idea of servant leadership was developed by Robert Greenleaf. Servant leadership is never defined, but at its core, servant leadership is about helping the people in your organization do the best work they can and become the best professionals they can. This approach to leadership works best in a setting where the leader has little power or control, like an organization with highly skilled, well-educated workers. Higher education and academic libraries would be the type of setting where servant leadership could be used effectively. Of course, that's my interpretation of servant leadership. If you looked at the Wikipedia page, then you saw the ways different researchers have interpreted servant leadership. There is some overlap to the traits and requirements of a servant leader, but with that much variance over what a servant leader is supposed to be doing, we have to question how much practical use the philosophy has. There's good reason for these various interpretations. At one point in his book, Greenleaf writes, "Leaders must know the unknowable and foresee the unforeseeable." If that did not make you roll your eyes, I'm not sure what will. Greenleaf's prose tends towards the airy and fantastic. The expectations placed on leaders is almost supernatural. A book like this just oozes the romance of leadership. It makes the job of being a good leader even more difficult. If we somehow do come to know the unknowable or foresee the unforeseeable, then it'll be nothing more than dumb blind luck, and none of that's going to help us become better leaders or help us in our day-to-day jobs. Because there is no agreed-upon definition or list of definitive traits, there can be no research and empirical evidence on what works best for servant leadership. This is the kind of practical advice leaders really need. Empowerment was one of the traits I found in my research on past positive library leaders. The talk of empowering those in the organization can be a bit naive. Not everyone in the library wants a share of power. They would rather have someone else be responsible and held accountable. This is why we talk so much about leadership. Also, some folks in the library might not aspire to great heights. Helping them to achieve their best is relatively simple. And what of those who continually fall below the minimum requirements? Servant leadership has some good points and can be useful in the right context and the right personalities, but be careful about getting caught up in the overtop language and expectations.